Yesterday, some unfortunate news in the world of wrestling. Ring of Honor released a statement that said throughout the pandemic, our top priority was to keep everyone healthy and safe. And despite not producing any live events over 18 months, we were able to keep everyone fully contracted. We now find ourselves at a time where we need to make changes to our business operations and are planning a pivot for Ring of Honor with a new mission and strategy. This year will culminate with a final battle in December, and we will be taking the first quarter of 2022 to work internally to reimagine ROH. ROH has the most dedicated fans in the industry, and we appreciate their loyalty and patience as we reconceptualize ROH. We anticipate returning to live events in April for the Supercard of Honor with a new fan-focused product and provide a unique experience for wrestling fans. I was kind of caught completely off guard by this news. I didn't hear any rumblings of Ring of Honor being in any trouble, and from what from really kind of the news and the reaction to it, I don't think a lot of people were aware of it either. But the some of the news from some of the various sources last night is that coming at the end of the year, all talent or contracted talent contracts will be released from contract, and superstar wrestlers are able to work anywhere starting immediately. So it really, I don't know how or what Ring of Honor can do to recover from this. I mean, it would, the wrestling world would, I think, suck a bit if Ring of Honor is no more. But Tim, I know this news probably hits you hardest the most out of the four of us here. You've been a Ring of Honor fan pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, and unfortunately, I've fallen out of the love for Ring of Honor, not because of anything like they did. It's just Ring of Honor at a time for me was what AEW is for a lot of fans today. It was that new, different wrestling that had a lot of burgeoning stars that I was seeing for the first time. I mean, because of Ring of Honor, I was able to follow like the beginnings of a Samoa Joe and a CM Punk and a Colt Cabana and like Jimmy Jacobs, Jimmy Rave, Alex Shelley, Austin Aries, Roderick Strong, like seeing all those guys, even other names like Christopher Daniels, Loki, and Homicide, and the American Dragon Bryan Danielson, and Nigel McGuinness, who people nowadays only see him as like a ring announcer for the NXT UK brand, but that was a bad dude. And even like going beyond that, and like I don't want to say the newer crop of ROH stars, but like that second wave of big talent for Ring of Honor that was like Tyler Black and Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards, and that was nutty. And then like Chris Hero, Claudio Castagnoli, absolutely insane the talent that had come through the doors of Ring of Honor. So hearing the news that there's a possibility that like Ring of Honor is no more. I mean, listening to the press release, it does sound like that there's going to be like a reimagining of Ring of Honor. I don't know what that means if you're letting go of all of your contracted talent.
ROH 2.0.
I mean, there's a very hilarious meme photo of the Ring of Honor logo with this color splash on the background. Fun piece of Ring of Honor history. It recently came out, I think the last day or two, that the original Ring of Honor logo was designed and created by a 15-year-old Joaquin Wilde.
Huh.
DJ Z, Zima Ion, created the first ever Ring of Honor logo as a contest winner.
Wow.
Yeah, and he actually recently came out on social media and mentioned that, like, yep, Paint Shop Pro 6 and dark crystal font, and that's what it was for the Ring of Honor logo. Yeah, so
I mean, that would have been what? That would have been like Rob's Ring of Honor, right?
Yeah, the original
02
Ring of Honor. And so it's like they're mentioning there's a reimaging and a reimagining of Ring of Honor, but like seeing and hearing like all the contracted so I think all of the contracted talent is officially released from their contracts. And if you had a contract that extended out through the year, it was good until March.
Okay.
Something along those lines. And I know that most everyone is available to be like reached out to for contract, which we're a conversation to be had. Like, we're talking about Ryback and like, does Ryback sign with AEW? I think Tony Khan's now got a list of like
insert Cody GIF.
10 more people. Like now,
like I saw a fake tweet earlier. Somebody said, like, you know, Meltzer reporting that like Roosh and Grisham and I forget who all, Danhausen, the Briscoes have all signed with AEW.
Yeah, and that's not the case. Now I suspect there's going to be a great number of them that do go to AEW. I think there's a solid number that go to Impact. I wouldn't be surprised if there's like a 1 or 2 off that go to WWE.
I was gonna say, is there do you think there's anybody that does go to WWE? Because, you know, with the rebranding of NXT, it's kind of more along the lines of your Performance Center talent. So I mean, there may be some that end up signing for a class with the Performance Center and start that group. But I mean, is there anybody that's, you know, main roster signees at this point?
There's 2 people I can think of that are on the Ring of Honor roster right now that I think could fit into current day WWE. One is Brody King.
Okay.
Big, thick boy, alternate look, tattooed up, but he's like a big Haas looking guy. I think he's got a WWE
what they
look.
had with Aleister Black.
But like if Aleister Black ate Aleister Black.
Yeah, bigger boy. Okay.
Bigger boy than him.
Right.
And then the other is Dalton Castle. Dalton Castle has WWE charisma.
Sure does.
Written all over him. And if WWE like embraces the party peacock and the ambiguous nature of said Dalton Castle, I think that could benefit greatly in any brand that he's on. But I also suspect that like those 2 guys are going to be on the radar for AEW. I mean, Brody King was a part of that PWG group at the very end. And Dalton Castle, in a different life, was very connected to a lot of the Chikara guys that are in AEW today. There's a guy that looks an awfully lot alike to Dalton Castle by the name of Smooth Sailing Ashley Remington. Okay. That worked very closely with a certain AEW official. So there's definitely connectivity there, but again, at the end of the day, Tony Khan makes all the decisions now, and he's not going to make a decision that's not going to be smart for him. What would be smart is to get the like surefire guys like Jonathan Gresham.
Yeah,
you got to get Gresham.
You
got to get Jay Lethal. Like,
yeah.
You gotta go get them. Like
the WWE just wouldn't know what to do with them.
No.
Like
Jonathan,
Gresham is an absolute workhorse and could tear up Raw, SmackDown, NXT, 205, whatever show you want to
Right.
put him on.
and then though,
But I just
also,
don't think he would know. The WWE would know what to do with him.
Vince
No.
knows
Just wouldn't.
Vince McMahon knows exactly what to do with Jonathan Gresham.
Put him right with fucking Kofi Kingston and
No.
Xavier Woods. That's exactly what would happen.
No,
I have no faith in him.
Worse.
Start business.
Vince McMahon has wanted for 10 years a Mighty Mouse character.
Oh no.
He is going to see Jonathan Gresham and immediately see that he's like 5'5". It's like,
Right, Gresham's not very tall.
he is not tall
Turns me on.
at all. Like, he is very short. And Short King would literally go and Vince would be like, "You're Mighty Mouse." And Jonathan Gresham would be like, "Give me my octopus mask. I'm out of here.
Yeah,
I'm done. Right.
I'm leaving.
Like, I'm gone. Like,
Fuck
I'm
this
out of
shit,
here."
I'm out.
Yeah. But then there's other guys too that were like recently under contract, like Tony Deppen, Danhausen. Danhausen's another guy. He's a big character worker, but like, and huge cult following. All signs are pointing to Danhausen going to AEW. I mean, he was on the Jericho cruise.
I mean,
Right.
it's
It's almost like
right.
the worst kept secret next. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
There's-
do I think a character like his could work in the WWE? Absolutely, but I just don't think they would let Danhausen be Danhausen, and that's the problem.
What's the last funny character they had on the WWE that was like an
Santino.
actual? That's been a long time.
Yeah, that's.
I mean,
a
it's
good
been a
point.
bit.
maybe Hornswoggle.
That's
That's
not
it.
much more recent. The only name I could think that would go to the WWE and would fit in is Dak Draper. The guy's 6'5",
Oh
tall and
the
lanky, and I feel
mile-
like the mile high. Yep. I feel
Mile
like
high
Vince
guy.
McMahon would be like, that guy gets my juices going.
But
And unfortunately, there's not much more that tall. How do you not bring in the Briscoes? Like, how would you pass on the Briscoes?
so there's, unfortunately for the Briscoes, there's a lot of
Yep.
negativity outside of the ring
Yeah,
that companies wouldn't want to PR control. And there's a reason why they go to GCW
right. I was just about to say there's a
where
reason
they
why.
fit in.
Yeah,
Also, too, is like, I still think they're chicken farmers, and I still think that that's their full-time job.
I think they landscape.
Do they?
I actually think it's landscaping, yeah.
Lou says Josh Woods would give Vince the wood.
Josh could be a big boy. Yeah, he's a big
But
boy.
Josh Woods is also like completely changed recently. Like, he's not like the same guy.
But yeah, you're not putting the Briscoes on Raw or SmackDown or even
Let me go to the Ring of Honor, ROHWrestling.com.
I unfortunately think this, and again, we've been around wrestling enough that I read that, and this is the death of Ring of Honor.
dead.
This is
Mhm.
it. I
yeah.
mean, I don't know what you
Like
is it-
Tim,
is it
you
cliche?
sent,
Should I-
you sent that to us, right? Or no, I sent it to you guys.
queue up taps. Like, they're done. It's over. They're not coming back. They can rebrand all they want. Ring of Honor's done.
Joe Hendry, Matt Taven. But I feel bad for, like, there's a couple of people who I really feel bad for, like Trisha Dora, and I think Willow Nightingale might have just signed a deal with Ring of Honor.
Just, I think.
Just signed.
Jeez.
And like,
I mean, most of their women's roster, they just brought that back.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
just.
Roxy,
Literally just.
Right.
Yeah.
Max was I mean, there's a ton
Maxine
of names
Taylor,
there.
yeah. So it's very, very unfortunate to like say the least. But
Right.
now,
I mean,
yeah, go ahead.
we like Ryan said, like we've seen this game with indie companies, and I'm not putting Ring of Honor at an indie company, but like it's how do you recover from this? And if you're a worker, are you going to be willing to go sign there in March or April? Are you going to go? Yeah, I'm going to go. I'm going to go do this when at any moment that rug could be pulled back out from under you. And we've had this discussion, I think, a little bit on this show, and I know I've had this discussion like with Charlie and some other people off air. Is like Ring of Honor could have been kind of what AEW is. Like there was always that potential there, and that money was always there. But I think the big difference is with Sinclair and Ring of Honor is they knew they couldn't ever really compete. Like you're not gonna put the WWE out the pasture. So like like maybe Sinclair's thought is like, why are we going to invest all of this into this brand when it's probably not going to yield the big result? Whereas like, Tony Khan, like the joke has been like, oh, it's a billionaire's vanity project. But the what they're doing is like, he's literally just doing whatever the hell he wants because they don't, it doesn't matter if it succeeded or failed. Like it wasn't going to matter to them, and it's obviously succeeding big time. Like,
but it's really succeeding on the back of Ring of Honor. All In was a Ring of Honor show that was like Cody and the Bucks and Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor sold out or was close to selling out MSG right around. Ring of Honor had momentum and just did nothing with it.
So like I saw this tweet, and Devin, thank you for sending it to me. But I saw it yesterday, and like to me, it's like it's such. I think this is such a bad take. But what do you guys think about this? A guy tweeted, "So ROH is gone. MLW did 40,000 on cable with its best match. Impact lost 2/3 of its audience in less than a year. What's the NWA doing? The cynic in me was right all along. AEW wasn't competition for WWE. It killed smaller promotions."
And part of him is right.
I say he's half right. I guess
he's right, but not by like he's missing a part of the equation that is missed. Like, or he's missing a part of the equation that it's massive. And that AEW found a way to continue to run shows during the pandemic and continue to put on a TV product. ROH and MLW and Impact and who else did he say? In NWA?
NWA.
Like they're
everybody
all
that wasn't
impacted.
WWE.
Pretty much anybody that wasn't AEW or WWE didn't run during the pandemic for the most part. And then like ROH did in the bubble, but there was no fans and there was no income.
And there can't be much income there because you're airing on your network and the commercials are already bought, and half of them are small time commercials that aren't paying a ton of money either on your Sinclair channel.
It's like 7-year-old commercials with Jay Lethal talking about mesothelioma or something.
It's exactly what it is.
Like
somebody's been watching Ring of Honor lately.
I mean, yeah, like
and late at night.
Now,
well.
Yeah, and on multiple time slots on multiple channels too. Like because my network TV is huge, but in certain networks the show comes on twice.
Right.
Yeah.
Jim, what is your issue with that tweet? Because I feel like that tweet is spot on because that's exactly what the WWE had to do to get to where they were. The WWE killed all these small promotions and territories to become the biggest player. AEW's doing the same thing to be the challenge to the WWE. You have to. That's how you get to that level.
Yeah, but I think my issue with the tweet is I don't necessarily think it's totally true. And I think we're, and Tim made a great point about how AEW kept running is like, I don't, I don't think the goal of or the goal or whatever of AEW, and because we're probably not going to have time to like cover it as a whole topic, so we can kind of loop it in this with this one is like the AEW Impact partnership coming to an end. I think part of the goal, or at least some of the goal, maybe with AEW, is to elevate everybody else that wasn't the WWE, but like maybe like have they just now in the last 6 months or so, or post like the Wednesday Night Wars or whatever you want to call them, or is their focus now really just to take aim at the big company? Like did their like quote unquote mission statement change along the way? Because I don't necessarily.
How much did Impact actually benefit from the Impact AEW partnership?
They had a couple, like their pay-per-view buys for a couple of shows were up
because Kenny Omega was there. That was it.
Because AEW fans tuned in to see their guys on the show. I don't think it did anything elsewhere.
And made Matt watch.
I think WWE shooting themselves in the foot for the 12th time was the reason why Matt went to watch Impact.
Could be.
And not so much
really
Impact.
it.
Like, it wasn't that Impact did anything to gain his viewership. It was more WWE did a great job in losing viewership.
Isn't that the real reason why AEW is flourishing though right now? Has AEW done a ton to like really get there, or are you just fucking tired of the WWE?
See, I think it's a bit of both, more so with AEW than with Impact, certainly.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like you bring in CM Punk, I mean that's going to get people.
Yeah, they're willing to
Okay.
make splashes, whereas Impact is just kind of like
the only thing.
If you don't want anyone AEW, send them my way.
To me, the only people.
Y'all got any Christians over there?
The only people that benefited from the AEW Impact partnership was the Good Brothers, because they just got to go hang out with their buddies and get drunk on Wednesdays instead of just Thursdays. Sorry, drunk on TV on Wednesdays instead of Thursdays.
I think the real story here is Impact Wrestling outlasts another one.
I saw a great tweet earlier. It said the year is 2155 and the last wrestling company in the world is Impact Wrestling.
Man.
It's an excellent question to ask too. So ROH buys Ring of Honor, or Sinclair Broadcasting purchases Ring of Honor in 2012. When did Impact go on sale? Were they available for sale around the same time? Like, what if Sinclair Broadcasting makes a play for Impact instead of Ring of Honor?
Who was owning Impact at the time? Was that
in
Jarrett?
2012? That might have been Panda.
Okay, because I don't think Jarrett would have sold to Sinclair, because ultimately I don't think Sinclair wants professional wrestling. They want the content, but I don't think they give two shits about wrestling.
Which has been my point with like Charlie the whole time is Sinclair was only going to invest so much into pro wrestling.
So Panda held the company until 2016. Okay. And then it went to Anthem Sports and Entertainment.
Was Panther Dixie Carter's?
Panda was Dixie Carter's.
Everybody knows Dixie Carter.
Everybody. You can go to Malaysia.
But like I also saw a great tweet in talking about companies not necessarily like Impact, because I think what they came around similar times. The Ring of Honor was a little before TNA, right?
Yeah, by a couple months.
But like AEW, NXT, even like a lot of the changes like the WWE made in their brand with transitioning from bigger guys to smaller guys, like you have Ring of Honor to thank for a lot of what we know as wrestling today, big time wrestling today. So unfortunately it really does look like it's kind of near the end, or at the end, I guess. But it's a bummer, because that's a company that really made its mark on the industry. Let's see here. Devin says, I think AEW took a lot of big name talent from Ring of Honor, not helping the pandemic that got us to this point. Yeah, like go back to, you know, when you had like the super card show at MSG, the Ring of Honor New Japan, and then you had All Out, and then from there it was just like this hard turn to AEW, and like that signified a big change in Ring of Honor, and I don't think they ever fully recovered from that. I think that was the first big sign of change. Like if you look at Ring of Honor, and I feel like ever since then there's been constant reshuffling of the deck. You've had, you know, a women's championship come and go and come back with controversies there. Like it has been a rough couple of years for Ring of Honor. So if they do come back and they do survive this, and we end up being kind of wrong that we're, you know, kind of putting them in the ground, so to speak, then good on them for recovering. But I just have a hard time. Yeah, Tim.
So another part of the story that we're missing, and not even really missing, but we haven't talked about yet, is Sports Illustrated came out with an article. I think it was today or yesterday. Let me double check the date line. 6 hours ago today.
Okay.
Headline: Chronic mismanagement spelled the demise of Ring of Honor as we know it. And they outlined the Zoom call that took place where any superstar who is under contract from now until March 31st, 2022 is being bought out of their contract. And if their contract went past that date, that there would be negotiations on how to get them out of the deal.
Okay.
But what the article is breaking is that the Ring of Honor tape library from 2012 to today has been on sale for a year.
Wow.
And is apparently going for above market price. Now, here's what's funny. Guess what's included in that tape library? And we've mentioned the event multiple times.
The show at MSG?
No.
All In.
All In. AEW owns the name All In, but they don't have the footage.
Oh my God. How is WWE not buying that?
So apparently there's been conversations, and apparently ROH just wants too much for that tape library.
If Nick Khan didn't work for WWE, that library would have been bought. Like Nick Khan's looking at Vince going, nope, we're not paying that. We're not paying it. But
goddamn, pal.
Come on. I want it. And Nick just sitting in the corner.
I mean, and also not to be 2012 to today's Ring of Honor probably isn't the best Ring of Honor years either.
Which is exactly why people are saying it's going above
correct
what it's worth.
The formative years of all the names in the WWE were all pre-2012. And I think Rob probably still owns all of them.
Well, yeah, no, they probably went to Gabe Sapolsky.
Gabe WWN or whatever it's called.
Or it could even be
High Spots might own it.
No, Carrie Silken.
Oh, okay. That could be.
It could even be Carrie, who is like who was the original owner. He might own that original tape library. So Final Battle 2012. I don't know for sure if this was the first. Do we happen to have a date of when did Sinclair buy ROH? May 21st, 2021. So I want to go to the first show that was our first major event under.
So that was about 5 months ago, you said, right?
August or May 2012. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
May 21st, 2011. Wait, 2011. Sheesh. I got to go back even farther than that.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
That's what the kids say, right?
I know, but you got to point to your.
You gotta, the blueberry.
Like I'm injecting myself with something. I'm injecting myself with a heaping helping of sheesh. So best in the world 2011. This was the roster that Sinclair inherited. The first major pay-per-view. It was in a dark match, Generation Me of Jeremy and Max Buck taking on the team of Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly. Tommaso Ciampa with Prince Nana and Mr. Ernesto Osiris defeating Colt Cabana. Jay Lethal defeated Mike Bennett with Brutal Bob Evans. Homicide defeated Rhino. Michael Elgin with Truth Martini defeated Steve Corino with Jimmy Jacobs. El Generico defeated Christopher Daniels. Shelton Benjamin and Charlie Haas defeated the Briscoe brothers. Rhett Titus and Kenny King, the All Night Express, and the Kings of Wrestling, Chris Hero and Claudio Castagnoli, in a 4-way elimination match for the tag titles. And in the main event, it was Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards for the Ring of Honor World title. That's what they started with.
That's a fucking card.
It's a card.
Holy hell.
Jeez.
And now look at that roster.
Just here, again, the dark match for that was what?
The Young Bucks versus Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly.
Unreal.
I have no idea who that is.
Like the worst match on this card might have been
Unreal.
Homicide and Rhino or Michael Elgin and Steve Corino.
2012 Homicide, though?
Yeah, 2012 Homicide was a ton of fun.
Right. And like the next pay-per-view is even nuttier.
It's like a Snickers bar.
Right. Like it's Tommaso Ciampa and Rhino versus Homicide and Jay Lethal. Shelton Benjamin and Mike Bennett. The Young Bucks defeating Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole, and the Bravado brothers. El Generico and Jimmy Jacobs, Charlie Haas and Michael Elgin, Eddie Edwards, Roderick Strong, and then the All Night Express versus the Briscoes in a ladder war. Like
In a ladder war. Like, how is that? Like, how's nobody assumed that match? And bro, like, that just sounds like fun. Whether it's just a ladder match or not, it's a ladder war.
And again, here's the deal. I think the WWE always just played nice with Ring of Honor. Hey, can we use this in our video? Ring of Honor says, yep. WWE says, here's a couple $1,000, and everybody's happy.
Sure.
You know,
So, like-
AEW owns that, you lose that. And again, I don't know. You're never going to use Generico in a Sami Zayn if they're the same person. What do you get? You never referred to Cesaro as Claudio. Like, I know that.
Yeah,
we know that. We talk about wrestling.
Like,
mhm.
Is that really important, though, to the people that the WWE is selling their product to?
If Cesaro got like the recognition and the accolades that he deserves in WWE, then I think that those years are more valuable to you.
But he won't.
Right. That's my point. Is why
Right.
I feel like the two competing teams for this is WWE and AEW.
Sure.
And it's literally just whether or not like WWE has some of the roster there now. I mean, looking at these cards like Ciampa, Generico,
Tomato chips.
Kevin Owens, Kyle O'Reilly, Cedric Alexander, Roderick Strong, Shelton Benjamin. Like those guys are on the roster.
Lou says a lot of people on Reddit say HDNet owns the pre-2012 library.
Oh,
That
wow,
also makes
okay.
sense. And HDNet is Access, and Access is the home of Impact.
Her.
But it's it's going to be interesting to see as this plays out through the remainder of the year. I mean, it sucks for the talent who has signed over the last year or so, the talent that has been there for a long time. Unfortunately for the talent that is only signed in the last year or so, and there's nothing wrong with going back to being, indie wrestlers, but that's kind of where you're going to be at right now. The when there's not a bigger place to work, there it sucks when there's one less place to work. So that's the shitty part. That's the really shitty part.
Can ROH come back if they rebrand and reimagine? And we've seen independent companies be very successful with things like GCW and what they do. Can ROH come back and be an alternative,
sure, successful
indie promotion? And again, it's hard to even call them indie because they'd still be backed by Sinclair.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, they could be successful. To me, it's all a matter.
Just have no contracted wrestlers.
There has to be something that's going to signify stability, I think, for people to really buy into it. Why are you going to buy back into a product that could go away again just that quick? There has to be some sort of commitment, stability to it that wrestlers and fans alike, I think, are going to want to go back to, but it could absolutely be successful.
All I know is Adam is pissed.